a few. They're not ordinary names, you will agree. Some were funny, some were cute, and there's some you might dispute. Listen closely while I lay a few on you.
The picture you are looking at is the Peters family. They were all machinists. Joseph Orban and his wife. He started at Bethlehem Steel when he was 14 years old as a water boy. Suzanne Stalinsky. This is my mother's sister. It's a picture on her wedding day. She worked at Bethlehem Steel during World War II when they were hiring women when the men had gone to war. My grandfather's, he worked 52 years for Bethlehem Steel, started at age 13 in the foundry.
It all started back in 1912 when my father and mother came over from Czechoslovakia, and my pop got a job in 1912 with Bethlehem Steel. So on down the line, my oldest brother Steve, John, George, Frank, Mike, Andy, Al, myself, and Emil all worked for Bethlehem Steel Corporation.
My grandfather, in the late 1800s, 1885 through 95 perhaps, was a timekeeper. And at that time, they recorded everything by hand. As the person would enter the gate, they would record his name and time, and when they left, they would then indicate the time that they left.
I got called down to personnel, and they said, they think we have a job for me, and it turns out Pete Dent, who was in personnel, said to me, do you realize this job you're going to go interview for was the first salaried job your dad ever had? I.e., working for industrial engineering, setting rates out in the plant. And I just looked at him and I was trying to think, I was saying like, no, I don't think so. He said, yes, it was the first salaried job your dad ever had.
Oh, my family has a long history of steel. My father worked here. My uncles. My mother worked in a Bethlehem Steel alongside her sister during war years in the 40s. So we go back a long time.
And my father and 3 brothers worked at the Bethlehem Steel, including myself. I worked there for many years also. So we're Bethlehem Steel people. My twin brothers started, I think as soon as they were 18 years old, they started working at the Bethlehem Steel, both of them. They were twins, so they both got the jobs at the same time. But they worked in different departments. They did all right. They enjoyed working there. They had a nice relationship with all the other men. That was one thing they had. They had a community, sort of a relationship and they were Polish, Slavish, Hungarians, Windish, Lithuanians, and they all had nicknames. My father was Hunky John because he was the Hungarian. And the Windish people were the Windaks. And the Polish were the Polacks. And there was no thing about, people didn't think anything of being called a nickname like that, and they just called him all the time. They'd go, oh, hi, Hunky John, come and work at the steel company. I said, well, we need people to imagine that. They asked me to come. I went for an interview and I got a job right away. And then I got into the 5th floor, which was that beautiful 5th floor, and it was just the nicest place to work, and the people were just great.
My great-grandfather worked at Homestead. Left Homestead in 1895, came to Bethlehem. He, in turn, had my grandfather in 1897, who started at Bethlehem Steel and worked 48 years at Central Tool. His brother, John, was a superintendent at the machine shop. His other brothers in that were mostly machinists, working in Central Tool and number 2 machine shop. The other members of the family from the other parts of the family all belong to St. Cyril Methodius Church. They're mostly Slovak heritage, and their stories are similar to mine. Some of them came over even earlier than 1895. They were over here in the 1870s. You know, like 1878, 1879, and we're mule team drivers. They used to come up from Hellertown. They had iron ore deposits down there, and they were teamsters. They would drive iron ore up with teams of mules for the Sakona Iron Company before it even became Bethlehem Steel. And this was back in the days when they were making iron rails before they even switched to steel, you know, to the Bessemer process.
I started working at Bethlehem Steel when I was 18 years old. I had just graduated from high school, and it was just a given in our family that everybody was going to work for Bethlehem Steel. We've had 4 generations of family, 4 on my father's side and 3 on my mother's side. Bethlehem Steel was expected to go on forever, and we always thought we would be a part of it.
Some were funny, some were cute, and there's some you might dispute. Listen closely while I lay a few on you.